Hi, my name is Cynthia and I am the CEO. I give PetExec the rating of 2. For more reviews, click below. My company used PetExec for just about all of the offerings that they had at the time. So we used the daycare services, we used grooming services, we used boarding, the um, what else did we use? We used scheduled services, which was customizable. They also had a customizable package if you had or services that was unique. So we had some unique services, and we were able to kind of plug and play, and in that way, it was customizable. There was also training services which we did not use because we did not have that service, and we also use them for the employee time clock. So when employees got in, they would log in and log out. We also use a lot of their back end functions, which were really helpful, such as they had a lot of analytics with regards to when the packages were up. You could send newsletters to the clients. The clients could log in themselves and book appointments or update their credit card information. So overall, it was a very useful CRM. Yeah, that's what we used it for. So what I really liked the most about PetExec was the back office part. Because we're able to utilize the analytics, we were able to compare month by month, year over year, what the financials were, which was really helpful. We could also break it down by service, and it allowed us to get super granular and do those types of comparisons. And I would say that that was probably one of the most useful, unexpected ways that we were able to use it that I don't know that other softwares offer. And it really helped inform us, how we're actually doing from a quantitative standpoint, not just qualitative. All in all, the reason that I gave PetExec a 2.0 out of 5, such a low rating, is while it has all the best, like the bells and whistles for a pet sitting company or doggy daycare, we used it for scheduled services and specifically our dog walking pet sitting component, and as well as pickup and drop offs. Drop offs were not as big of a deal as the pickups were, as well as the dog walks. So, anyone who is using the software or looking for software knows the intricacies and the delicacies of client scheduling. And when you have more clients than you can keep track of in your head, unfortunately, PetExec dropped the ball at least a dozen times on this, and they took zero accountability. They blamed it on us, and that's not even the issue. The issue is we had scheduled services for pickups. That would be a pickup for boarding, a pickup for grooming, a pickup for daycare, a walk. Like maybe a one-off walk, one that wasn't regularly scheduled. And PetExec would randomly drop these pickup and drop off services. And the reason that this is pretty much the entire reason that I'm giving PetExec a 2.0 is that when you drop, like when the system that you're relying on to be the manager, which is how they're marketing it, drops a client, at the end of the day, guess what? The dog or the cat, they didn't get their service. Maybe they were supposed to get an insulin shot. Maybe the owner was going away for the day and went out of their way to schedule a service. Maybe it was a trip to the vet, whatever it is. These clutch services that are so integral, and when you have pets and you can kind of prioritize, like where's the wiggle room? There's zero wiggle room for a software to drop appointments and it to not show up on the back end. And I brought this up repeatedly to PetExec. I've spoken with the owner. He's very nice, but it is an old system. It's probably at least 10 years old, and right now it's 2021. And what they do is they keep improving on a broken system. So, and also to give you an idea, when you forget to pick up a client because you're relying on a software, what ends up happening is you get a bad review. because you did a bad job. They don't care that the software dropped the appointment. At the end of the day, you are responsible for the pet. They trusted you. The trust is broken. You let the pet down. You let the pet owner down. And everybody knows how hard it is to regain trust. You're not just taking care of the pet, you're taking care of the home, but in this case, you're taking care of, a family member that happens to have 4 legs that can't text you and say, hey, you forgot, to pick me up, or I got left behind, for 2 days during the family vacation because, PetExec dropped the ball. To give you an idea, we did look at other softwares. But what I did instead, because I am somebody who's like super duper anal about scheduling, is every single appointment that came in, we have a hard copy in our notebook. Okay. So that's one. The second thing is we also had a backup calendar in Google, which we shouldn't have to have, but that was just in case PetExec dropped it. We also sent an email to the client confirming these services, and we blind copied the walkers. So we had 3 backup systems to PetExec, and we would bring it up to them. Hey, we have all this, whatever. Well, on our side, it was never entered. What are you supposed to do when something like that happens? Like they're supposed to be the eyes and ears for scheduling. You're relying on a software, and when the software drops the ball, you shouldn't have to do triple the work, which is what we had to do throughout the process. And our systems just became more and more intricate over time, when we noticed all the different glitches, and we had to come up with a backup system. And you don't want a human backup system. You don't want somebody's memory or something that you don't want to have a second system to do what they claim that they're supposed to do, which is to be a reliable software. So I really hope that the company fixes that. I doubt that it's fixable, given that it's, like a super old system that was built a really long time and they just keep building on top of it. They'd be better off like starting from scratch. Doubt that they're going to do that. But for that reason, if you're concerned, even 1%, that you might drop clients due to using their scheduled services function, I highly recommend coming up with an alternative, such as multiple systems like we did with Google, or just having an entirely different scheduling software to avoid those many nightmares that we had with clients. We lost a lot of business because of them.